This video goes through the best methods for gaining reputation with the new faction that arrived this patch called the Flames Radiance, so you can get yourself to Renown 10 as quickly as possible if that is your goal. So if we're gonna use the methods I'm about to mention, we'll be able to achieve Renown 10 within the first week of the patch going live, but of course it will depend on how much time you've got to play the game. So first of all, let's talk about the methods for gaining reputation, and then I'll talk about how we can mid-max those. So there's going to be three methods. First of all will be the Nightfall event that happens on the edge of the Hollowfall zone. This will happen every hour, and the goal is to fill up the progress bar. You'll gain reputation for every bag that we achieve, and there's going to be 3 checkpoints, so we'll get some reputation for getting the green bag, the blue bag, and the purple, which will give the largest amount of reputation. The first time we do this each day, we'll be able to get 500 reputation, and then subsequent full clears of the event will give us 250 reputation. And what I mean by that is that we can repeat this event every hour, either on the same character or using alts, and we'll be able to gain 250 reputation every time we get those 3 bags. Our next source of reputation will be the quests themselves. So we'll be able to get 3 dailies and 1 weekly quest. Now the first time we do the dailies, we'll be able to get 100 reputation from each one, while the weekly will give 200. Afterwards, if we use our alts or bring them there to redo the dailies, we'll be able to get 50 reputation each instead. So to recap, the first time we turn in the dailies, we'll get 300 reputation in total, while the weeklies will give us 200. And then subsequent turn-ins of the dailies will give us 50 each, while the weekly will give us 50. For our last source of reputation, it's going to be from killing certain rares. Now during PTR we missed this. There wasn't any indication that rares did give reputation, but on live we discovered that slaying certain rares that either spawn or travel to an area that has any sort of relations to the Sureki forces will give us reputation. So to explain even further, you remember those dailies that we picked up? They rotate between 2 areas. There's going to be 3 zones in Hollowfall and 3 zones in Ashkahet. Now the rares in the Ashkahet quest zones will give us 50 reputation to the Flames Radiance, regardless if they're normal or elite rares. And this will work regardless if you have the dailies picked up or not. But with that in mind, this third method is more of like an additional source, since there's only about 7 known rares that we've confirmed so far that give 50 reputation. So you might as well do these only when you're in the area or you're doing dailies. So now let's talk about how we can min-max these 3 methods and get that renown track done as fast as possible. So we're going to be making use of a cheese method. What will happen is we're going to go to the event every hour, and we're going to clear it as fast as possible by mainly mob farming. Now regardless of what the objective is during the event, whether it's slaying a giant elite or carrying fallen soldiers back to the healers or picking up crystals and dropping them off of these certain points, our goal is to just get the bar to 100% as quickly as possible by killing as many mobs as we can before the final boss appears. So that we've filled up that bar, the event should still be happening, it should still be ongoing, so we'll want to switch to one of our alts. Ideally though, before doing this method, we'd suggest arcing 1 or 2 alts near the event, so that once one character's bar is filled up, we'll just log in our other character and repeat process of just slaying mobs. And the idea is we're trying to get as many characters to 100% progression as fast as possible. Now when we did this test on the PTR, we managed to get 3 characters done. So the first 2 characters we used filled the progress bar just by using the mob grind method, while the third came in during the later part of the event where there's like a ton of mobs that spawn, which give us quite a lot of progress on the bar. And then after the third character beats the final boss of the event, it gave us around 40% for the progress bar, which topped us off to nearly 80 to 100%. So doing this mid-max method will give us about 500 reputation per hour with the event from looting the caches alone. Now while the event isn't up, what we'll want to do is utilize that downtime period by doing our dailies, which we can spam using our alts. So we're going to repeat it with as many alts as we can squeeze in, and we're going to be getting that big chunk of reputation. So let's say you're someone who has a lot of time to be working on this and you're able to log in 10 times a day. That means you're going to be walking away each day with over 6,000 reputation, which equates to you getting over 2 or even 3 renown levels. And since this faction only has 10 levels of it means we can get to about renown 10 within 5 to 6 days. Now as an additional tip for just clearing out the mobs, there are going to be a ton of other players trying to clear out the mobs as fast as possible. So what I'd suggest doing is sticking to an area where there's a high density of mobs. Additionally, we'll want to use a class that either has a ton of mobility to tag as many mobs as possible or has a ton of AoE. Since as of live, even if you're in a party, the progress bar does not go up when a party member of yours defeats a mob. So that means the only way to fill up the progress bar is if you tag the mob before it dies. Either way, I hope this guide helped you out, so good luck getting your Renown finished. Don't forget to like and subscribe to help us hit 1,000 subscribers. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.